skills, not necessarily for academic purposes, but even for the day-to-day running of the business, day-to-day management of life. Because we realize that most aspects which keep on preparing life relate to accounting in one way or the other. You are either receiving, you are either spending, and at the end of the day, you need to reconcile your accounts or give an accountability of what you have, of how you have spent your day or how you have spent your money. So each time we need to move things, accounting has to be a major aspect of our lives. On completion of this lecture, the following needs to be noticed. Getting a proper definition of what accounting is, the purpose of accounting records, explaining the accounting process, because it's quite a process, the users of accounting information and how they use it. Then we shall have to look at the functions of accounting and the various assumptions which are based on when preparing financial statements. Accounting has standards and principles that are generally acceptable. We shall have to look at those and see why is it that people keep calling accountants rigid people. It is based on those accounting principles that keep guiding their professional work. We shall have to embrace the qualitative characteristics of accounting. So, what is accounting? Accounting is a process. It's a process.
Excuse me, Madam Regina.
Yes, please.
Kindly put in slideshow to improve the visuals.
Oh, sorry.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Let me first stop sharing because I can't see the icon of slideshow now. Oh, wow.
Madam, you can just press F5.
I can just
Press F5.
no. Let me get this. Is that better?
Yes, it is.
Is it better now?
Yes, it is.
Okay. The definition of accounting is a process. It starts with receiving. But for accounting purposes, we are always interested in tracking information. And we start with the process of recording. But usually you cannot record what you have not received. So as you receive information, you record it immediately. So accountants attached more importance to recording than receiving. We record information, we classify it, summarize it, interpret it, and then we communicate the results thereafter. What kind of information do we always receive? We usually get varying information. It could be relating to sales, it could be relating to human resources, it could be relating to transactions, and quite a number of issues as the organizations keep receiving and disseminating information. So information is recorded, basically involves information identifications, its measurement or recognition of transactions, and recording in the various books of accounts. Before we proceed, I would like to know from you, what is a transaction? What is a transaction? Hello? What is a transaction?
Madam, a transaction is an instance of buying or selling something. It's a commercial
Incidence.
an instance which is commercial of buying,
Okay.
selling something.
Yeah. Okay. In simple terms, okay. A dealing between two parties. You transact. And for a business transaction or the commercial transaction is that dealing between the two parties which involves the exchange of either goods and services or exchange of money. So each time you transact with a friend, there must be receiving and there must be giving. So the moment you receive, you need to record. Even when you give out, we need to take record of in our books of accounts to really show where we are getting the money or where transactions will always be, implying that as you keep on recording more transactions, there are those that are going to be similar or repetitive, and therefore they need to be classified. So, level of making sense to accounting is classification of records. So this involves the grouping of business transactions as assets, liabilities, owner's equity, revenue, and expenses. We group them because if I am getting income, I have a series of revenue streams. I will classify all my revenue streams under revenues. Whether I sold and I received, I got salary, that's revenue. I disposed of an old asset and got money, that would categorizing them, or we keep classifying them for easy identification and tracking. Then when we buy, especially the items bought for resale, those ones we categorize them as purchases. So each time you buy, you increase the purchases. We do not mind whether these purchases are bought on cash or they are bought on credit, as long as or classify them the same way. And after classifying them, at the end of a specified period, it could be on a daily basis, it could be on a monthly basis, these classifications have to be summarized off. So after classification, we summarize the records by way of adding them up to determine. In the morning, I went out, I bought some airtime, I bought some data, I bought some breakfast. So if you do that for the entire week, you ought to keep on categorizing or classifying any amount of money spent on airtime. You record it on various times or dates, and then on data, transport, lunch, and so on, such that at the end of the week, you are able to trace your expenses charged to different votes. The same applies to the revenues. Sometimes we keep on getting varying revenues basing on varying. Remember last time we said we ought to get revenues on a daily basis, incomes on a weekly basis, monthly basis, quarterly, half yearly, and yearly, such that we can be stable. So at a specified period of time, we keep tracking all those records to know how much we are getting from a particular vote or aspect and how much we are spending, and to keep checking on ourselves whether we are doing health-wise, financially or not. So after summarizing, then we need to interpret. It is not good to stay in a break-even point of the revenues and expenses, whereby most cases you find I earn 1 million and I spend 1 million. It would work out because you are not borrowing, but a better financial picture would be that on a monthly basis, we have something that is left for investment purposes, what we sometimes treat as the savings. And that has a lot of communication. Sometimes it may not be communication like when we are operating organization. It could be personal communication. You will know when you're not doing well. We have colleagues that have already spent the first half of the year without saving and having anything, but we keep on borrowing from one source to replenish another, then you borrow again, and we end up being topic of reference in our informal settings because somebody complains, you know, Regina borrowed 500, she has not paid me. I want also to do my other things. Then another one also said, sure, she also has my 200,000. Oh my, this lady is really doing badly. Let me reserve my comments. We've had such. And that communication to an individual on a personal basis is a spark for you to realign yourself and get to the right track. Either in charge of your finances or you are living beyond your income. At this level, we don't expect to have peer pressures because we are mature enough and you need to know. That is why we have various products on the market with the varying income levels. So the interpretation and communication we receive marks the end of the final step in the accounting process. And this enables us to prepare and distribute the financial statement with interpretive disclosures to make accounting information better understandable. Functions of account. Provide information to the users for making decisions. Provide measure of performance and financial positions. Assist in discharging accountability of management and providing information for future plans. Automatically, when you have a record of your accounts, you get to know how you are going to manage yourself and how best you can plan for the next cycle, and also to know how you are going to manage your finances better. Remember, people want us people get to us, most people do not love us genuinely the way we are. They only want something from us. The better your money and accounts, the better your life will thrive and flourish. Purpose of accounting. Before I proceed, do we have anybody with any question up to that level? Okay. Purpose of accounting is to provide users for the decision. Here we have the users of accounting information on one side, the purpose of the accounting that they usually have. Okay. First of all, the users of accounting information will always start with the owners or the shareholders. Usually the owners of the business, as we shared last evening, they are basically there to see how their enterprises, how their projects are excelling and expanding. They are more interested in assessing performance of their businesses. And usually they attach a lot of value when they get the money or profits, and instead of sharing it as dividends or using it up, they prefer to reinvest it as retained earnings in order to expand the projects or the businesses. The next category of the users are the prospective investors, those who would like to join. For them, they are basically interested in seeing how profitable these ventures are in order to assess investment portfolios, how best they can invest in various products and then make profits out of that. So their interests are basically investment portfolios, not anything else. The tax authorities. Usually tax authority go hand in hand with the government. They usually interested to assess the tax liability of your business. Their interest is to see how much are you earning and how much can we get from you. They look at various ways and means of how to increase the tax base and increasing tax revenue. The managers, they basically look at assessing past decision they made for the future. But this past decision made for the futures will always rotate around profit exploitation. How much are we making profits and how much do we anticipate to receive as workers of this organization in order for us to receive salaries? Because they can only get paid their salaries based on the profitability of the business. The creditors. These would be the suppliers. People were able to give us trade credits, colleagues that would borrow from. They also have an interest in our accounting records. And their interest rotates around creditworthiness of our enterprises or our personal creditworthiness. When people are going to give us money, they do not really look at how much you are making, how rich and wealthy you are, but how trustworthy, how creditworthy you are, such that in case they need their money back, you will be in position to clear them. The trade unions, for them, they basically assess business performance for salary increase claims because they know each time you receive more salary, then you can increase your subscriptions to these associations. The lenders, they assess the repayment ability. Are you able to pay? And in most cases, they take advantage of us, especially when we are in somber state where you find you are hard up and you have nothing to do but to borrow from them. So it is advisable not always to go for loans when we are too stuck. Sometimes we need to plan ahead and know. You realize, basing on my salary, basing on my income, I think in the month of September, I may not be doing well. It is better to start thinking of borrowing at the end of July when you still have some resources. Because when we don't have the resources, our negotiations are compromised and people take advantage of our vulnerability, our financial vulnerability, and they exploit us. The business analysts assess and advise the public about business performance. I keep wondering these days, whether we are benefiting a lot from business analysts basing on the current situation we have in the country, or basing on how the economy is moving on. Are they really assisting us? There, you can think about that. The
That's
general
very-
public, for us, we keep assessing the economic and social impacts. And each time you assess the economic and social impacts of the accounting information, it enables you to get back to the table and you keep fine-tuning your plans and also your sources of revenue. And somewhere, somehow, you keep forward going. You take up opportunity costs to see whether this time around I will manage, or this is too hard, I may not really work well. Then we have the special interest groups, which keep assessing the accuracy of the payouts. What examples of special interest group can you give me as examples? Examples of special interest groups? Hello? Members, special interest groups.
Those trade unions, like the one, the Uganda, is it employer something something?
They could be associations. It will depend on where you subscribe. Which other we have? Those special interest groups.
The other one is like the one of Uganda National Teachers, is it union? UNATU.
Also, the Uganda Coastal Guards groups, Uganda Coastal Guards, the ones on the
Yes, those associations which we join based on our needs, based on our interests. Okay, I usually ask my team, the team we are always with when we are studying financial management, like you. Where do you categorize the Rotarians? Are they special interest groups? What are they? And some of you are Rotarians.
They are anthropologists. Yeah.
They are anthropologists. And they special interest groups. Hello? How do we categorize you people?
And we are not special interest groups. Because there's always an agenda. For special
You are
interest
what?
groups. There is always an agenda, and there is a committee probably.
There is always an agenda for special interest.
Yes, with a common interest, what they are looking at.
You mean in Rotary, you don't have you don't have a common goal? Hello?
Yes, the common goal is there.
We are taxpayers, so want accountability. So we are special groups. And to the public, then to the university, of course, we pay tuition value for our money. Thank you.
We realize they have to keep assisting noble cause, and they have really assisted us. Many people have benefited from Rotary clubs. People are really saving lives, taking up noble cause for people, because each one comes with an agenda for that particular year and what they are going to do, and they really work towards that. Okay. Qualitative characteristics of financial statements. The financial statements have to be understood, understandability. You must understand them when you have extracted them. They must be relevant. They must be reliable. And they must be compared. We keep comparing the performance of one financial year with the other to know, why is it that in this particular financial year we performed better than the previous year? Or why is it that in a particular financial year we are performing less than anticipated? And the reliability has to be there, because we must know that the information provided is true and fair, and we can base on it. We have accounting standards. What makes accountants professional or principled are basically the international accounting standards, and then the financial reporting standards. And the International Accounting Standards Board is always responsible for issuing out these standards to keep guiding how they can and their transactions. So, if you own a business, we need to track this. In most cases, when a business is running, we anticipate to see owners of the business and the final consumers or the customers of the business. And during this relationship of the buyer and the seller, a number of documents have to be exchanged up to when we reach the final, closing of this transaction. So, what are some of these documents that are exchanged between the buyers and the sellers? Usually, the first document is a letter of inquiry. Though these days, we may simply make an inquiry through a telephone conversation. Someone just makes a call and inquires whether you have a product and at what price are you offering it and how quick you can deliver it. Then you can, sometimes we end up concluding transactions on the phone. The letters of inquiry in a formal way have to be exchanged, and it is usually the buyer who writes the letter of inquiry and sends it to the seller, inquiring about a specific product they are interested in and the price on which they will be able to provide it. And after receiving an inquiry, the seller has to reply the inquiry. And the formal way would be by either sending what we call a quotation or a price list or a price current or a brochure. All these are replies to an inquiry. But now I would like to know from you, what is a quotation? What is a quotation? Or if you can research, what are the various replies to an inquiry? By you assisting and giving us. Hello.
Yes, please. This is Richard. A quotation is a document that is stating the prices at which you are able to provide products or services.
How is this quotation different from a brochure?
I think
because even a brochure can be used to.
a brochure gives more information about about the company or the business, which could be irrelevant from the service that is that could be needed or the product. But a quotation is straight to the service or the product that is needed.
Yes. Okay. Thank you so much. And in some instances, people send catalogs to reply inquiries. So please, you can get time and find out the meaning of some of these documents. There are situations when someone, you send an inquiry and somebody sends, I beg your pardon?
Yes, in addition to what my colleague has just mentioned, a quotation is also a pro forma invoice. A pro forma invoice can also act as a quotation. Yes. Yes, so it lists the services, the services or products or goods that you're willing to offer and the price at which you'd offer them if you're given business. Thank you.
Thank you. In fact, I was getting that sometimes if they do not send the catalogs or brochures, you can send an inquiry and somebody replies using a pro forma invoice. In most cases, when we are interested in dealing with certain people, they usually give us pro forma invoices to enable us go have a feel of what they are able to provide and at what prices. And then when you send that, when the seller sends you that, then you can place an order. An order is just indicating the willingness by the buyer to the seller to know how much, the quantity, and the price at which they are willing to buy certain items. In most cases, when we go to places, we have had people making telephone orders or basically placing verbal orders. And for businesses to protect themselves, especially if they're service businesses, they always tell you cash. Is it order with cash? You get it? You place your order as you pay for it, and then they can deliver later. We have fallen victims of bad services or poor services in situation where we place our orders with cash. Because sometimes after placing your order, it becomes very difficult for you to change. These days, the transport industry has changed and they prefer you to make your orders with cash. As you board or before you board, they want you to pay for a long journey of over 400 kilometers or plus away, 1,000, such that they do not get disturbed when they have mechanical issues or any issues on the way. It is better they inconvenience you as a traveler, such that in case they get any fault or mechanical challenges, they'll simply call another vehicle of their company still, or if you are very much in a hurry, it is you to incur another cost, but for them, they are not going to incur the losses. So after placing an order, supplies are delivered.
Madam.
Either hello?
Yes, madam.
Yes,
I was trying
please.
to inquire, is a local purchase order a form of an order form?
Yes, please.
Okay.
It is. Because you place it and you get what you want. Yes. Okay. When items are delivered on cash, at that level, the end of transaction will come in by way of people getting a final document, which is known as a receipt. Because if you place an inquiry, they tell you what they have, then you order with the cash, it means you're going to pay for the product and they will deliver the product together with acknowledgement that they have received your money. Then a transaction will be closed at that level. However, in case payment is postponed to a future date, that means you have ordered and you are going to be offered items and delivery is to be made at a future date, then other documents have to come in. So, the subsequent documents that come in play will automatically be the invoice. What is an invoice, ladies and gentlemen? Can somebody explain to us what an invoice is and when it is used?
Maybe Madam, an invoice is issued by the supplier to the client after supplying the products or performing the service for which the contract has been made. So that the client is able to make payments for the goods supplied or services are rendered by the supplier. Yes.
Okay. A supplier is usually provide, as he explains, when products are offered on credit. So the moment we see an invoice, it is also a demand note because items were supplied on credit and therefore they need to be paid. Okay. And then after the invoice, we are seeing either a debit note or a credit note is delivered. What is this debit note and what is this credit note which is supplied after the invoice? Hello? What is this debit note or credit note?
I'm guessing. I think
Yeah.
a debit note is a notification to the supplier that payment has been made. That's what I'm thinking.
A debit.
A debit note.
Then a credit.
Maybe another person can help.
Yeah, members, you can cross-check. What is the difference? In fact, let me ask, what is the difference between a debit note and a credit note? Because both these documents reply an invoice, are sent to rectify an invoice. So what is the difference between a debit note and a credit note?
Maybe a debit or credit note is issued by the buyer to the seller in circumstances where maybe the seller overpriced or underpriced. In the case of the debit note, the buyer will send to the seller as evidence for occurrence of reduction in the expenses. So the invoice, maybe the invoice was higher. The invoice that was issued by the seller indicated a higher amount. So in this case here, the buyer will request that the cost or the price is reduced based on the circumstances. Maybe the seller could have supplied less than what the buyer expected. And then they try to harmonize from that debit note. While the credit note, in this case here, the invoice that was issued by the seller maybe indicated an amount that was less. So in this case here, the buyer will issue the same to the seller to be able to harmonize so that the price is balanced according to what was supplied or the services that were rendered to the client.
Thank you. Thank you so much. So a debit note corrects an undercharge and in the invoice, while a credit note corrects an overcharge in the invoice. In both circumstances, it could be maybe they delivered less and they charged and then they need to give you some more balance. Or if they delivered less and they have to make a refund. Okay. Usually in both scenario, debit or credit note has to follow the invoice. But in situation where they realize that they sent the right invoice, then it is always time for you to clear your invoice. And at the level where you clear your invoice, then that indicates that after payment, then you can always receive your acknowledgement receipt. Then we have a delivery docket. What is this delivery docket? Hello. Delivery docket.
I think the delivery docket is probably when items have been delivered to a client, then on top of the delivery, they give you documents that are related to the delivery, and that would be probably a delivery note, and on top of the delivery note, probably they also attach like a probably an LPO, a local purchase order, on top of that, and also maybe the specifications of what you have bought. So I think that would be like the delivery docket, you know, something that has items, the list of items that you ordered for, and also proof that they have been delivered. On top of that, you as a client who has bought, you either confirm or concur to what has been delivered to you for making the final statements.
Okay. Thank you so much. Because they have to use this delivery docket for you to verify what has been sent, at what prices, are they the prices you agreed upon. They send that delivery note, they send the consignment sheet, they send quite a number. They look at the LPO, the local purchase order, to see what you really ordered. Are they rhyming with what they have sent, basing on the various specification, the categories, maybe the sizes, the various specifications, because you all know various items have various specifications. We may all need to buy HP laptops, but they have specifications based on what you agreed upon and what you wanted. So they usually use the delivery docket, to enable you really verify what they have sent is what you ordered for. And that is why the local purchase order has to be, a copy of the same has to be sent, such that you keep ticking off what you really ordered for. Then after that, if you verify and realize they are the right things, then you can always prepare to see how best you can pay for them, and then you end the transaction. What is this last statement of account? What is a statement of account? Hello?
Yes,
Can I
madam.
say?
I'm thinking it's a document that reflects I think all the transactions that took place in that process.
Transaction reflecting what took place in those process.
In that cycle process, yes.
Madam, I would
Yes,
say it's in finance, it's a statement that shows provides a whole summary of finance transactions between what a business, an individual, or their customer clients. So that's what I can say.
A relationship portrayed between a statement showing the relationship, accounts relationship between the buyers and the sellers at a specific period of time. So if you pay instantly through your bank, automatically a debit from your bank account will be portrayed in relation to what was delivered, or especially in the invoice. Sometimes people may pay the entire amount of money. Sometimes people pay in parts. So this statement of accounts will always give a reflection of how these transactions have been carried out. And it enables people to keep tracking their business records over a period of time. Thank you. I think we can move. My slides are not moving. I don't know what has happened. Let me see. I need to move. Okay. Where do we get the source documents of these inquiries? And then the subsidiary books. When we receive information in organization, we come up with varying documents, as we have seen. Then when we are tracking these records, we record them in various books of accounts. The source documents for sales are basically the sales invoices. When we sell products on credit, we get sales invoices. And when we are recording them, we record them in the first books of accounts where they are recorded are basically the sales books. So, like I was telling you during the classification time, whether we have bought goods on credit or we have bought goods on cash, we must record the information in sales accounts. And when we buy on credit, we have major books or journals that are known as sales books. Each time you see records in the sales book, then you know these transactions have been carried out on credit basis. When the credit notes are sent, remember when we are looking at the credit note and the debit note, this means we are going to record in what we call the sales returns or the return inwards books. Return inwards record all those transactions that we have previously sold out, but they have been returned back to our businesses because of various reasons. Maybe they were not of the right specifications. Maybe they are not of the right colors. Maybe they were not of the right in the right quantities. That is why they return them back to the organization. And for the purchases invoice, automatically we have bought on credit, but then they have to be recorded in purchases book. And for the credit notes received, these ones are recorded in purchases returns or return outwards books. They are written outwards because we are taking them back. We had previously bought them, but because of some reason, we decide to return them back to the sellers. For instance, if you wanted a Lenovo laptop, and specifically that, but because somebody did not find it with a brand Lenovo and gets a ThinkPad, and they decided to send you a ThinkPad laptop, but because you are obsessed with the Lenovo, you may insist and say, no, I strictly wanted a Lenovo brand. These others I don't want. At that level, you will be forced to return outwards the product which had been sent to you, and therefore the item you are returning back would be recorded in the purchases returns or the returns outwards book, because you have to make sure everything that you bought that is not having the right specifications you intended must be returned back to the owner, and they change for the right specifications. The logment slips and checks and receipts, everything, because it is being paid for, then for them, they have to be put in a cash book. A cash book is both a book of original entry as well as a ledger. So all transactions that are bought and purchased on cash basis must be recorded in the cash book. Then we have the petty cash vouchers, which are recorded in the petty cash book, and the financial correspondences that are recorded in the general journals. Accounting process in broader perspectives. Remember, we looked at this. Identify transactions, measurement in terms of money value, we classify, we summarize, record, and communicate the form in financial statement. And when you look at the accounting cycle, we have the first cycle on checking on the source document, any document that you receive in the organization. You get it and you generate. You journal by writing down. After posting in the journals are the first books of original entries where transactions are recorded. After journaling, then you realize you need to post them further in the third stage, which is the ledger accounts. And these ledger accounts will always enable us to record transactions in their respective accounts. After we have registered in the ledgers, then we usually balance off. That is, after the classifications, we need to summarize. And after summarizing, this is when we post the ledgers to the trial balance. And as we post the ledgers to the trial balance, we find out all transactions that are supposed to be debited are debited, and all transactions that are on the credit side are credited. And in case there are any adjustments to be made, we take care of them. And then we close them back to the closing accounts and stock valuation to see how much we have at the end of a specific trading period. If it is a business, remember you purchased, you have sold. At one time in business, we need to take up what we call a stock count or inventory stock taking to verify how much we still have in stock and how much we have sold off. Then we relate it to the cash we have in the till or cash we have in the business to enable us, if we are ready, to replenish that stock, or we are going to make a few changes, because at that level, you would have appreciated or known how much of the stock you have is fast moving, such that you can buy more of that, and then which one is dormant, and you can stop investing a lot of money in it. And after that, then preparation of final financial statements has to go on. This is a reprint of the statement and how they are carried out. The invoice will enable us, when the transactions are taking place, to make an analysis of the transactions that are carried out on credit and also on cash. We record and post them to the ledger accounts, prepare a trial balance, make some adjustments, and the final accounts they were talking of either profit and loss account or the trading account, and lastly, the balance sheets. And you can see that transaction, the dealing that we have. When you look at the invoice, we have the credit notes which are tracking, then they are recording in the books of account. As you post in the ledgers, automatically you are still classifying and making the necessary adjustments. We'll get to know in case there are additional information that are provided before we prepare the final accounts. This is a sequence of what we have. Books of entry, the ledgers, financial statements. The source documents provide documentary evidence of transaction. The first part we are looking at of the order, the invoice, pro forma invoice, quotations, all those are documentary evidence of transactions. And when you look at the cash payment, we have the receipts, and then we have the sales invoice. All have to be recorded in the respective books of accounts. Journals are books of prime entry where data gathered are first entered before making an entry into the ledger. And this is usually the first step of summarizing accounting data. A ledger, on the other side, is a collection of accounts. It consists of individual accounts. Information for ledger accounts are taken from the journals, because remember, the journals are the books of original entry or the books of prime entry. Ledger accounts are balanced on a regular basis at regular intervals. And they are basically summarized at regular interval by summarizing all accounts data. So before we go to the extended cycle, I would like you to create a ledger, a simple ledger from the following transactions which Omondi incurred this week. Which Omondi incurred this week. Are you listening?
Please repeat.
Yes, we are listening.
Yes, categorize and make a simple ledger from Omondi's transactions this week. So I would like you to categorize or summarize Omondi's transaction from the following scenario. Omondi works with ABC Company. Omondi works with ABC Company. Somebody will post it later in the group after typing it. Omondi works with ABC Company. And because of some reasons, his salary for July, because of some reasons, his salary for July delayed. Because of some reason, his salary for July delayed by a few days. And it was received on 8th August, and it was received on 8th August 2023. And it was received on 8th August 2023. However, Omondi had continuously gone with his normal transactions and continuously gone on with his normal transactions on a regular basis. On 1st August 2023, on 1st August 2023, his vehicle was fueled. His vehicle was fueled to capacity. His vehicle was fueled to capacity. With 350,000. Vehicle was fueled capacity with 350,000. His gas refilled. His gas refilled at 30,000. His gas refilled at 30,000. He paid for Yaka at 50,000. Paid for Yaka at 50,000. DSTV subscription of 52. DSTV subscription of 52. On 3rd August, on 3rd August, on 3rd August.
Which year?
We are still on 2023 and the same month. On 3rd August 2023. He received 1 million. He received 1 million from PX Enterprises. He received 1 million from PX Enterprises. As a payment for his consultancy. As payment for his consultancy work. As payment for his consultancy work. And he contributed towards his pledge of 300,000. He cleared. He contributed towards his pledge of 300,000.
I beg your pardon, madam. That statement. Beg your pardon.
He contributed 300,000.
On that very date of 3rd of August. On which date
On-
did he contribute 300,000?
On 3rd, on the same date.
Oh, the same date. He contributed 300,000.
Yeah, towards his pledge. To a friend's wedding. Contributed towards 300,000 towards a friend's wedding that was due on 5th August 2023.
Pardon?
That was due on 5th August, contributed towards a friend's wedding. Do we need to name the friend?
Yes.
Why? Okay. Towards Peter. Towards Peter's wedding on 5th August 2023. 23rd. 5th August 2023. On 4th August, on 4th August, it's not a balance sheet. On 4th August, I've seen the chat, somebody saying it's a balance sheet. It's not a balance sheet. On 3rd August.
Ledger.
Yeah, we on ledger.
Ledger.
On 4th August, he sent 100,000. He sent 100,000 to his mother. Sent 100,000 to his mother.
This is unfair.
Unfair?
This is unfair, yes. How can you send your mother 100,000 and give a friend 300,000? A wedding.
What about those are the realities, what you do. 100,000 and use the 200,000. Use the 200,000 for shopping for his home. Shopping for his home.
How many, madam?
Use 200,000 to do shopping for his home. Shopping for his home. On 5th August 2020. 5th August 2023.
He attended the wedding.
Paid rent of 350,000. Paid rent of 350,000 because the landlord was pressurizing him. Paid rent of 350,000 to calm the landlord's pressure.
Madam Rita,
Yes, please.
but we need to put the reason why he paid the rent.
I know. We are putting.
Okay.
It may have a connotation because we are going to find a man by the beginning of Monday, he has nothing. Yet he's working. And on Saturday, he could not hang out with the boys because
you're blocked.
Very well. Oh, those are transactions.
Yes.
And we don't know whether he's going for the wedding or not.
According to his contribution.
Hey, he has to go.
Yeah, chances are high that he has to go.
We are heading. This scenario is not so accounting, but it is general. This is what we all go through. Then on 8th is when he got his salary of 3 million.
On 8th.
On 8th.
For the previous month.
For the previous month. Hello?
How much was it?
3 million shillings.
Beg your pardon, madam.
On what?
I stopped on 5th of August. He paid rent. He paid
350,000.
350.
Yes, that is where we are.
Okay.
Then on 8th, he gets his salary of 3 million. And on 10th, the bank had to deduct. On 10th, the bank had to deduct a loan repayment of 1.8. A loan repayment of 1.8.
That's why it's not good to share your expenditure experiences with the people.
Why?
You're now using someone's information to teach us.
Which one? Me, I'm getting the information from my head. Nothing on
Omondi could be your friend.
Omondi is fictitious. It would be me. It would be you. You can put Regina. It will still apply. And he had to buy charcoal. How much is charcoal these days? 80, 100,000.
70.
Depending on where you stay.
Depending on where I stay.
Madam, payment of how much?
But I remember
where I stay is 120, where Eddie stays is 50.
Saying if Pachaco bought charcoal at 70,000, paid charcoal 70,000. Monthly data of 50,000. And airtime of 60,000. Because he has to, is subscribing to 2 networks, Airtel and MTN.
Plus Riper.
Airtime, how much? Airtime is 60.
Data 50,000, airtime 60,000.
This is being extravagant. He paid for gas at first.
And
now he's buying charcoal for what?
Yes. The maid
Do you
will not.
understand anything?
The maid will not be. The maid may not be using the gas, and maybe
and he hasn't paid the maid.
Exactly. There are so many obligations there, and he has not paid the water bills.
And the electricity.
The electricity is subscribed Yako 50, remember?
Oh, there is Yaka here.
When does Omondi save really?
That is Omondi now. Required.
I'm already feeling sorry for Dungu.
Don't feel sorry for Mondi.
This is the Dungu scenario.
Required. Part A. Part A. Using simple counting. Using simple counting basing on what we've studied. Classify and summarize. Classify and summarize Omondi's transactions. Classify and summarize Omondi's transactions. Classify and summarize Omondi's transactions. Part B, classify and summarize Omondi's transactions. Part B, post the information to respective ledger accounts. Post the above information to respective ledger accounts. Post the information to respective ledger accounts. And part C, part C. What lessons do you learn? What lessons do you learn from Omondi's scenario? What practical lessons do you learn? What practical lessons do you learn from Omondi's scenario? Part D, advise him. Advise him where necessary. Advise him where necessary. Okay. It is 15 minutes to 11. We are going to have to break off tentatively for 30 minutes. As you think through that and as we take a cup of tea, then we ought to be back by, can we come back by 11:20?
Exactly.
11:20 we shall be done with that, and we continue with our lecture. So somebody should assist us and post
Excuse me,
that
madam.
scenario.
Excuse me, madam.
Somebody who has typed can send us the scenario in the group, and then we continue working. Then we shall share the answers when we are done. Yeah, on. Okay. Should we get back by 20 past? Or 15 past?
20 past.
20 past. Okay. Enjoy your tea.
Costa. Costa.
Okay, welcome back from your break. Let us continue with the ledger accounts. How have you summarized Omondi's transactions? Anybody who'd like to share with us? Hello?
May I share?
You want to share? Okay. Can I stop sharing and you show us? Okay.
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 So as a person who didn't step in accounting class, this is what I've prepared.
It's okay.
Let me also share mine.
Okay.
Let me stop sharing.
Stop.
Excuse me.
You stop and also
The one
share.
shares and we go through, and then another one can also share theirs, and then we go through. Okay.
I also want to share mine.
Yeah, it is okay. Let us share one at a time.
I have just a small comment.
Yes, please.
I think they were not expected because already Omondi spent, so it is not expected he spent. Where he's saying expected incomes and expected expenditures, they were not expected because he has already spent.
Okay.
Oh, thank you. Yeah, actually,
they are
incomes
basically
and expenses.
incomes and
Expenses.
Expenses. Okay.
Thank you for that correction.
So that let somebody explain his work, and then we can make our comments later.
Okay, so I explain.
Yes, please.
Yes, that's thank you for that correction of expected. Yes, it's not expected. Actually, it's always expected when it's a budget. So
yeah.
it's a statement. This is a transaction. So these are incomes, and from the scenario, Omondi has two sources of income. That's from consultancy and salary that he gets from his job.
Yeah.
And expenses, these are expenses. However, I thought there are some variable expenses that he has, like wedding, wedding contribution. I put it under variable
expenses.
Yes. Yeah.
Okay.
Basically, that's how I have summarized it.
There is car fuel, gas refill, Yakal, DSTV,
home shopping,
rent, loan repayment, data, charcoal, mother, that's a drawing, airtime. Okay. And the total expenditures are how much?
Total expenditure is 3.112.
But even the wedding is expenditure.
Then yeah, it's an expenditure. Okay, I should have made the total of
Costa is there.
Of all expenditures
Costa
down here.
Exactly.
Okay.
Okay, thank you. Then
thank you too.
we need to know the amount of money on balance.
Okay, to know how much it remains with.
Exactly. But this is in the first week of August. So we want you to give us the lessons, the advice basing on that. Okay?
Okay.
We are going to contribute, to participate at random. Let us have another question and see how they have worked out theirs. Thank you.
I've shared mine. Can you see it?
Yeah. Yes, we have it now.
I just quickly go to template. Don't give me credit. I quickly. Yes, showing DR showing the debit and credit. DR represents the expenses. I just recorded the debt, different transaction and their descriptions. I can even hide this for you. Yes, the total.
You leave it. We need to know those descriptions, please.
Okay. The total debit.
Total debit, total credit.
Total debit.
Okay.
Total debits or expenses, like you're calling it, is 3.4, and the total credit is 4 million. The cash he has at hand is 588.
And this is by?
And this
by
is
end of today.
By end of today, 12 August. Yes.
As of today.
Yes.
Is having 500. We don't know any other expenses he's going to make. At least this is the status he has. And is struggling. This is good enough. Okay. Someone else who would like to share, please. Hello.
We've gone.
Eddie.
Who is sharing?
I wanted to share, but my things have.
But?
My work has moved.
Oh.
My ledgers. Okay, let me just share them as they are.
Okay.
Hope you can see. So yes. I first worked on this, although my ledgers are incomplete. But this one, actually, originally it was here.
Yes.
And then on the debit side, meaning that Omondi received the money. And then we put what has happened to this one?
Omondi, or both transactions are supposed to be under credit.
On the credit, not debit.
No, on credit.
Credit.
Credit, debit.
Credit.
Credit. Because he was receiving.
He was receiving, yeah?
He was receiving, yes.
Okay. So which is which?
Credit. When you are receiving.
Credit is when you're receiving.
When you are paying out, you debit.
Okay, now maybe
And the other item where the item you are spending on is the one which receives, which has to be debited. But for you, the owner, you debit.
You debit.
When you give out money, and you credit when you receive money. Good.
I've failed to understand what you're trying to say.
Can I explain to this?
Eddie, in class, when you are receiving credit, when you are losing debit.
You debit. In my interpretation has been vice versa.
No.
Eddie, when you receive Eddie.
Yes.
When you receive money on your account,
yes,
and you check that account statement, the deposit you've received, it has an initial CR. A credit means you've received the money on your account. A credit is you've earned. A debit is a liability, is an expense you are giving away.
Okay. Now, Eddie.
Yes.
I went to guide him. Eddie has some information about accounting. He's also right.
I've started doing things. I just forgot them. Long time ago.
It is okay. And what you've done is what we are heading to. Those are the ledgers. You get it? We want to extract them.
Okay.
Now, Eddie, when you receive, automatically what you did is correct of debiting Omondi's account. But the moment we want to classify that account, when we are classifying Omondi's account as an income or expense, the moment it is an income account or revenue account, then it has to be credited.
Credited.
You get it? Which relates to what one of the colleagues was explaining. When you receive money on your account in the bank, it is credited. And when you pay it out, it is debited. Yes. All incomes, all revenue accounts, they have credit entry. Yeah, because you put Omondi's account, Omondi's income account, that is the very reason why this Omondi's income account has to be credited. And you put the first date, you put date. That date was date. Yes, what was the date?
He first received the money on 3rd.
On 3rd.
3rd of August.
3rd of August.
Yes.
2023.
If
it is Omondi's income account, this transaction will be on the credit side.
Meaning, we put this one
on the credit side. Still, you start with the third, on 3rd August 2023, TX Enterprise, 1 million.
I'll rectify these ledgers later, maybe.
Okay. We are going to work through them. Then
And
you
then-
put, and then you put on 8th, still in Omondi's income. On 8th,
Again,
still on the credit side, 3 millions.
okay.
Yeah.
Oh, this
Now,
is
to
Omondi's
complete
account.
double entry.
This is what is confusing me. This is Omondi's account. Yes. you're
Yes.
right. And now when I do TX Enterprises account.
Exactly. For it, it will have a debit entry because it is giving us that money.
You're right. I now know why Didungu is enjoying this class. I'm starting to understand.
Exactly, me, I'm enjoying it. I'm in my senior 1, senior 2 accounts now.
It will take long to understand.
We shall not so.
Where did I understand?
Manager, question.
Yes.
If those items are supposed to be debited, shouldn't they be on the other, like on the debit, on the DR side? Why are they reflecting on the credit side?
The expenses. The expenses, all the expenses are supposed to be on the debit side because we have received the money to that course.
So she's going to copy and paste them the other side?
Exactly.
Because he has learned.
Okay.
But we are supposed to do ledgers for each of these, meaning they will be credited that side then.
Exactly.
Why don't we end here? Namrita.
Yes, please.
Why don't we end here and you give us marks for this? After all, we've understood.
You have not. We are still struggling with that. We
Yes,
are going to go through now. Don't mind.
It's just that you caught us offside.
Hey, it's not easy.
Madam, I prefer this version. I think to Eddie's, it's the I think it's the
Lameka, you have nothing to tell us.
The gas was 30, not 350.
Mama, it's okay, we are learning.
Let's
Yes.
not waste our time.
No time is being wasted. We are all learning.
Eddie, maybe you want to correct. Gas is 30,000, not 350.
Which one?
Gas.
Gas. Yes, thank you. Now I think I can give a chance to Lameka to also share.
Okay, thank you. So all the expenses are debited. All the incomes are credited. Again? Okay. Okay. Those are January references. Among these details, on first, Omondi fueled that and the amount. Okay. If we are to look at and respect the debit and credit, okay, that is what we received. This is what they have and they have spent. We all have the same totals. And then we have the okay.
Damrita,
Yes, please.
I remember we used to do, there is somewhere where we used to put things like balance brought down, balance brought forward, such things, but I don't see any. And they are not receiving any mention.
So have we finished projecting? We are going to work out. I'm going to open an Excel and we do it together.
Was okay.
Yes.
Because all these entries we are drawing, I don't see anything like brought down, brought forward.
It's because we are beginners. After this, we shall know what to do. Remember, some people have never had a chance to sit. This is their first accounting class.
And no, why I'm asking that. The person presenting looks to be an expert in this, and I don't see the brought forwards.
They are refreshing their minds. They are refreshing their minds, and we are moving on well. Okay, let me get a spread. Somebody sharing, someone who is interested can share, and then let me get a spreadsheet and an Excel sheet, and we work out together.
I know come and mean. And a vitamins.
Okay, it's okay.
First, get this or something.
Hey, somebody was sharing. I've not seen what she was sharing.
It's Mo who was sharing. Is this correct? Summarizing the ledger in this way, in a simple form.
Let me see. Okay.
Debit totals, I think.
You have, at least you've classified. Garcia, those are the first one. You you
Network is not clear.
To always start with the debits, and then the credit side comes, and they are well 39. Okay, the balance is missing out, but it is okay. Okay,
thank you.
Let me now share mine, and we work out together, please. Okay. Okay, we are going to work out together using this Excel. Yes, I'm not looking at the question. We are going to start. Going to increase and that's that we use the bigger ones. So we are going to start with Omondi's cash book for the month of August 2020. And here we are going to have the date. Let me first highlight this transaction. That's that we make date. The details. Sometimes we put ledger folio. Amount. Then we have the same details on the opposite side. Okay. Okay. We are going to enter the same information, and our first date here, it was quite unfortunate. Omondi was spending before he received. So Omondi, on the first date he was spending. What was the first item Omondi spent on? Hello, please guide me and we move together.
Fuel.
Fuel. On
Yes.
first.
On 1st of August.
Fuel.
1st of 08/23. Details, fuel. It was ledger 1. Ledger 1. Wherever there is fuel, we are going to call it ledger 1. And the amount they spent on fuel was how much?
350.
350. Good. So to complete double entry, I think you can put it on another sheet or down. To complete double entry, we are going to open up complete double entry. We are going to open up a new sheet, and this sheet is going to be for, assuming this is going to be our, this is going to be our cash book up to here. Let me put, and we change to, okay, to 16. So we are going to complete another sheet, sheet 2. We are going to the ledgers, respective ledgers. So we are going to open up a ledger still with this, with the date, details. Okay, let me hope it's from here. Copy to ledger 2. Here you go. Okay. And we are naming this ledger account fuel account. Fuel account. Having both the debit on this side and then the credit on this side. Because in the first sheet, fuel was spent on, in the respective ledger accounts,
It will be
fuel
debited.
received. Are we together?
Yes.
And we are going to take the entire column here. And we say copy. We take to fuel on the debit side and we paste. Okay. Then when we get here, on the date, on the same date, fuel, but we are not going to call it fuel because it was fuel. We are going to show where we are getting it from, and we are getting it from cash. Because we got it from the cash book, so we can take this one as a cash book or our general Omondi's cash book or Omondi's cash account. So we have to maintain a reference that this ledger folio 1 has been Omondi spent on 1st August 2023. He spent on fuel. It was his ledger folio 1, and he spent 350 on the credit side. Then in the respective account, fuel is receiving. That is why we see here it has the debit side and it has the credit side. And when we look at that, fuel at that level is receiving as an account. Are we together up to this level? This is the debit side of fuel account, and this is the credit side. Okay, can we proceed? Or someone has a question?
Yes, I have a question.
Yes, please.
Yeah, on the cash book, I see now on where we are copying fuel from. Is that the side of expenditure? Are we not supposed to define define like the title there or the heading like expenditure side and sit the income side, something like that?
Yes, we are supposed.
Because it seems like
yeah.
Because it seems like
those details are provided in account. We want to get used to them. Debit is always the receiving side. Credit is always the expenditure side.
Okay. Now, on the side of the cash book, when you first open the cash book, first go back to the cash book, please.
Okay.
Okay. Now, on when you look at our cash book, there is nothing showing that credit side and debit side. The title is not there. It is
there. It is there.
Yeah, here. We don't see.
Let me indicate them. Let me indicate them. This is Omondi's. This is Omondi's cash book.
Yes.
But when we are looking at this, let me put another column. Sorry. This one is supposed to be the debit, and this one is supposed to be the credit side. Together?
Yeah.
So in the cash book, expenditures are credited.
Yes.
Then in the ledger, expenditures are debited.
Are debited because they have received money.
Okay. Now understood. Okay, thank you.
We debit what is coming in. We debit what we are receiving. We debit revenues. We debit incomes. But when we are putting them in their respective accounts, they are credited. That is what shows us. For us, we received it as an income, but in its respective account, it is credited. That is where we say Omondi's income cannot be debited. It was credited.
Credited. Okay. Okay, thank you.
Thank you. So let's go to the second transaction. The second transaction was what?
Gas.
It was?
Gas.
Gas. Second transaction, was it on the same date?
Yes.
If it is the second date, you scroll, then
you edit.
Still with debit. Gas, it is ledger folio 2 now, L2. And the amount was how much?
300,000.
300,000.
No, 30,000.
30,000.
30,000.
To complete double entry, we go and open up gas account. We shall still take the same details. Now I'm naming this one a gas account because I don't want to type again. Gas. Gas account. And this gas account is still on the first. But the amount spent is 30,000.
30,000.
Then we move to the next account. It is what?
Yaka.
Yaka. Was it on the same date?
Yes.
Okay. We get down on the same date. Yaka. It is going to be ledger folio 3. Amount of money is how much?
50,000.
So we get to the yak account. This is from ledger folio 2. Okay, this is 3. Okay, they have really worked themselves out. On the same date. This account is Yaka, not fuel. Amount is how much?
50,000.
1,000. Okay. Okay, let's proceed. Let me save these ones.
No.
I want to save our worksheet in FM, yeah. Ledger. Okay, here. And we are calling it ledger activity. 1. Okay. Let's get on the move. So which other transactions do we have?
DSTV subscription.
There?
DSTV subscription.
DSTV subscription. That means we are going to follow the same. Okay. Let me just paste from up from Yaka such that I can get those contents. And as we go down now, I have to just insert the details. Okay. Hey. I've taken up the money for Yaka. Let me just DSTV subscription. DSTV account. And when you look at the DSTV account, how much? It is still on the same date.
Yes. Yes.
First spend and then we bring it down. DSTV ledger folio 4 L4, and it is how much?
52,000.
52,000. So we get to the respective accounts, and this is Steve B. We copy this. That's here. We have 52. And it's going to be ledger folio 4. Okay. Which other information do we have? After DSTV, where?
Now he received some money.
He received some money. What was the date?
The 3rd
He
of August.
received 1 million from TX Enterprises.
3rd August.
Okay.
Third.
And it was on 3rd, okay? And that money was for consultancy.
We put consultancy or the company that paid him.
Yeah, you can put, we want to know how, for what purpose did he get the money? Was it salary? Was it wages? Was it donation? You put consultancy fee, then in brackets, you can put the company, because if there are various companies, you need to know. But when it comes to our classification, all consultancy fee will go into the same account. So these were consultancy fees, but for TX, was it TX Enterprises?
TX Enterprises.
Okay. Okay.
How about we just merge the whatever?
Which one?
We make this, this thing is going to be a bit bigger.
Which one?
This field for consultancy.
The what?
The field.
The field of consultancy.
Instead of widening it, we make it move to the next line.
We have to widen it, because each line is supposed to be a transaction.
Yeah.
Yeah. They'll get mixed up and you find it is on the second line, then it is creating another transaction, another dealing. Yet we want each dealing to be on the straight line. And the amount of money was 1 million, eh?
Yes.
So we open up to complete double entry. We open up an account for consultancy for TX Enterprise, because they are the ones that are giving us that money.
Excuse me, I have a question. I thought that one is supposed to be on the other side of a credit since it's double entry.
This is good. We are going to, I want to copy them and paste them on the credit side.
Okay.
You're so observant.
Observant.
Okay. Okay. So since TX Enterprises What is happening to my page? Okay. So TX Enterprises, because it is giving us for it has a credit entry. Then we proceed to sheet 1. What is the next transaction?
Peter's pledge.
The pledge.
Yes.
It was paid on the 3rd.
Yes.
And it is going to be ledger
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 6. L6.
And it was how much?
300,000.
300,000.
Okay. To complete double entry, we open up a ledger for Peter.
Peter.
And Peter is receiving. Okay. Let's proceed. Next.
On 4th of August.
Yes.
Mom also got her share.
Mommy.
Mom. The mother.
The mother.
Got her share.
100,000. Somebody was saying that is very little. Sometimes they don't get date. So you open up mommy's account. The mother's account has received. Both. Okay. Then another one.
He shopped for his home.
Shopping.
200.
Which date was that?
Still on 4th.
Still on 4th.
Yes.
Shopping. L8. How much?
200,000.
At?
200,000.
400.
200.
200. Okay. So shopping get 6 votes.
3/5.
3/5.
Yes.
Okay.
A paid rent.
Paid rent.
Yes. Shopping was done on 4th.
Shopping was on 4th. Okay.
Yes, shopping was on 4th. And that one's 5th.
How much?
350.
Okay.
$350. Shopping
Next.
was on 4th. Shopping was on 4th.
Shopping was on 4th.
On
Okay.
sheet 2.
Okay. Let me check. Thank you. Any other?
He received salary.
So he received salary
Yes, on 8th.
on 8th.
Yes.
How much? The 3 millions.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. So you open up a salaries account. Okay.
Excuse me, you need to put it the other side on the credit side.
Control X. Copy and paste.
Yes. This is salary income, not salary, the expenses.
Yes, it is salary. The lady's salary.
I think we need to include income, and people get guided, because most salary accounts have debit entries. Okay. The next.
On 10th of August, bank deducted a loan repayment of 1.8.
1.8. Okay. That is on 10th.
10th August.
Okay. We are making an assumption that everything was carried out on cash. But if we have the some transactions in the bank direct by check, then we shall have, instead of having one column for amount, we shall have a column for cash, and then we shall have another column for bank, to show that some transactions were for bank and some transactions were for cash. Okay. So we continue. Which one else?
He paid for charcoal.
Paid for charcoal. Okay. On the same date, on 10th?
Yes.
How much?
70.
70.
70,000.
It does. So we open up another account for charcoal.
Charcoal was on 10th, not 11th.
On 10th.
Okay, I'm going to make that. Any other?
He paid for data.
Paid for data?
Still on the same date.
Date, is it still on 10th or 11th?
10th.
Okay. How much?
50,000.
Okay.
We'll do the last one at once.
Eh?
Let's do the last one at once before we go the other side. Airtime.
This is the last one.
Yes. Still on the same date.
And it is?
Airtime.
Okay. Airtime was how much?
60,000.
$60.
60.
Okay. So you have to go back and complete double entry.
Okay.
Everything is on the 10th. So we are taking Chaco transactions. Chaco was how much?
Chaco was 70.
70. Then we have data.
Data.
Then we have data is still on the 10th.
Yes.
Okay. Then we have
data was 50,000.
Data at 50,000.
Data was 50,000. Then we have airtime.
Okay, airtime.
Airtime was of 70, of 60.
60.
Every transaction was on the 10th. Okay. Okay. After we have entered all these transactions, then we can go back to balance of our cash account or our cash book. Let me show you how these ledgers are supposed to be. This one. So you keep on separating them even when you don't balance them off, because we have recorded only one item. In situations where we have recorded more transactions in the same account, then we maintain the ledger. If on the, for instance, this is on 10th. If on 10th, we bought more fuel at 30,000, we would put 10th August 2023 fuel, then we put ledger folio 1, because the ledger folio is the page number where fuel details are. You put F1 and you put 30. Then to complete double entry, we would still go where fuel account is, and you put another date of 10th August 2023, cash L1, which is 30,000. And at the end of that day, you keep adding all those accounts details to enable you get the total. You summarize accounts based on that, and that final summary is the amount of money which you take to the trial balance, in case you are requested to construct a trial balance for that same cause. For our details, we are not requested to do that. However, we are going to balance off our cash account and get the balance based on what people were required to do. So now, this is our cash book or the cash account, because we are only dealing with cash transactions. So now we have to get the totals on either side. And when you look at this, our totals were verified. The totals were how much? We always take the highest figure of the totals, which is 4. Usually this is, we can put equals.
Let's put the formula.
This plus this to get our totals, or they are running from that up to that. Then on this side, we shall still have the 4 millions on the what is on the debit side. When it is the biggest, will always be on the credit side. So we simply put equals this, and then we take it here and we press to get the totals. So we are going to use our total on the credit side, and we subtract it from our total on the right side to enable us get our colleague what he was yearning to see, the balance carried down and then the balance brought down. Usually we get that from the totals. And we put C out of D. That is balance carried down. And how do we get the balance carried down? We get the totals of the lower side and we subtract them from the totals of the higher side. So we can have this, but we don't show it. Let me put it on the side. And we say, because this I don't know To bring out what I want, not as
Put some equals some
equals some,
equals some,
and then you bracket, open bracket. We put click the first figure. Full colon.
I what?
Full colon.
That's down.
You just
Scroll
click.
up to 60.
Full colon, or you highlight all.
Then I close the brackets.
Yes.
Or I just
Press enter.
Close the bracket and press enter.
that one. So that gives us the total for that. And then here we shall have the equals this
minus
this one.
Yeah.
To Tazawa, the balance carried down. Okay, then after that, this balance carried down is on the credit side. So we are going to have
it there. So
balance brought forward.
Balance brought down. We are going to have a balance brought down below the totals. And usually it is that. Then on the totals, we usually put double lines to indicate these are totals that are that are worked on. Sorry.
Underline you.
I'm failing to get the double lines, but the totals must be.
Go under you and select.
Double down.
Double.
Okay. So these are the double lines. So the balance carried down, this will indicate how much cash Omondi is remaining.
Excuse me.
Yes, please.
There is CD, yet supposed to be different. The balances.
Yeah, the first balance is supposed to be carried down. The second balance is supposed to be brought
forward.
Yeah, brought down. And it is also the same balance which is brought forward. Are we together?
Yeah.
At this point, it is brought down.
Yeah.
But we know that tomorrow it will be BF, balance brought forward.
That's from Monday.
Are we together for Monday?
Yes, madam.
So it is the amount Omondi is going to spend in August, just in case.
Plus other sources.
The 880. That is the amount of money Omondi is having
at hand.
Or Omondi was having as at 10th August 2023.
True.
You get it?
Yes.
Yes.
But if we say Omondi now on 12th, we shall have a balance brought forward for him to start another day. Now, in case a question had required you to extract a trial balance, for Omondi, and remember trial balances must balance. This is how we can do it. Let us get to, I don't know whether we should put it on the third sheet, or okay, we can continue with the second sheet, or we put it under that.
Let's put it on the third sheet.
On the third one. Okay. Mondi's trial balance. As at 10th
of August.
Yeah. August 2023. We shall put details. Let me put here the details.
Details.
Credit side, debit, and then credit. So how do we reach there? Missing. We get to a bigger one. 16. Okay. This would be good for us. Okay. Oh, yeah. Yeah, usually when we are to the trial balance, we always start with the balances in the cash book. Are we together? And when you look at the balances, is our balance on the or balance is on the credit side?
On the debit side.
Debit, okay. A trial balance is a summary of the balance extracts. All balances on the debit side must be put in the debit entry. And all balances on the credit side have to be put on the credit entry. Okay, so we are starting with the cash of 58. So let's get there. And we put cash equals, then we get here, take it. So now, after getting all the transaction in the cash, we can get to these particular details, and we have fuel account. Okay, we may take one by one. Fuel is fuel on the debit or it is on the credit? Where is the account for fuel? Is it a debit balance or a credit balance?
Debit.
It is a debit.
Remember?
It's a debit.
It's a debit balance.
The debit balance.
It's a
It is a
debit
debit.
system. Yeah, spending.
So we are going to take fuel equals, and we get to where fuel is. Then we look at another one, gas. Gas is also on the debit. Gas, because we get to gas, amount for gas 30. Then we get to which other one? Yaka. We get to Yaka. Yaka's account is also debit. We get to Yaka.
We have lost her.
We should end here.
Has been debited. Has been debited.
Wampuriye ekivuga kiki?
Eddie, bring back the lecturer. Eddie. On Dungu's account, the lecturer has been debited. Eddie, please bring back the lecturer.
This is an interacting session. It's interactive. This is the first time I'm seeing people over 40 for almost 3 hours. People are on Mutyokubala.
Time for lunch.
I've never seen this attendance online. I've never seen this attendance online. 40 over 40 people for almost 3 hours non-stop.
Those are casualties of last year.
People fear math.
Omusajja wange Conrad, Conrad tagala kumanya taliiwo.
The exam they'll bring for you come up with a trial balance.
I even though now time has shifted. This mathematics time has shifted.
Can we continue as we wait for the lecturer to come back?
We are exhausted.
I don't hear any volume. Is anyone talking or we're just seeing the screen?
Yeah, I'm ready. Can I share the screen and we continue, please?
Gamba no go.
Okay. Okay. So from tax enterprises, we can the suit, that is Peter, and Peter is having a debit entry. So we put Peter.
300,000.
Yeah. Okay. So I want to pick direct. The next
is mother.
Account is the mother's account with 100.
Shopping account 200.
Shopping.
$200. Rent.
Rent.
350.
Then another one is
Salary income.
Salary income.
3 million. 3 million.
Then the bank loan.
$1.8.
Then Chaco. Which other one?
That down.
Okay, we are almost done. Then you hear that data and airtime.
The time.
Okay.
50 and 60 respectively.
50
and 60.
Eddie oluzungu lungi.
Ayagala be theoretical.
Tutandika n'obutandisi. This is the simplest we have.
Eddie will run mad.
But we shall be there.
We shall be there.
We are not complicating things. Now bring your arithmetical accuracies now.
No problem.
Okay. And we are going to have the totals for the trial balance. The trial balance must balance. So equals this
Sum.
Equals to sum.
Equals sum. Then the bracket.
B4 for
Let's do it for full colon and then click. next one.
And then this one, we are going to have the same.
You can't see.
So our trial balance is balancing. So we've been accurate. So this is where we are going to stop for today's lecture.
Something is wrong with the trial balance. I
Give us
think.
like a sign.
The what?
Is this also called the balance sheet?
No. This is the trial balance. We have studied the ledgers, how they are recorded, how they are classified, and how they are summarized. And when they are summarized, they are posted to a trial balance. You remember the notes when we are going through them. That account
We scroll up. We take a
yeah, we
screenshot.
journaled. After journaling, we posted it to the respective ledger accounts. After posting to the respective ledger accounts, we have now reached a level of extracting a trial balance. Yes. Yes, please.
You scroll up.
Trial balance. I wanted you to put in total and I see what you added there. Because it's failing to balance here.
Which
It is
one?
balanced. You know.
9.
You have missing
It is
items.
That's
balanced.
not balance.
He has missing item.
Maybe
It
yes.
is.
I
Did you
Balance.
add balance brought forward?
just put a summation of all the items.
Madam, we request you scroll up to view cell reference 1.
It is there, 500.
Yeah, it's so that you can see it. He's not giving me
The
4
what?
million. He's not giving me 4 million on the debit side, but the credit side is okay. And I'm wondering.
Credit side is okay.
I think on the
We
trial
You are
balance
short
side,
by how much?
What is the shortage?
I got 11,110 when I added the whole total.
All these. Did you add the cash balance received of 588?
It's what you started with.
Yes.
For his case, they're asking for his case.
Isn't that Lamek?
Started with the 0.
Let him use after lunch. After lunch, let him go again and check.
People. I think your colleague to understand.
No.
He can consult Eddie.
Maybe someone may be failing.
Okay. It is okay. It's okay. It's okay. Lameka, please. You go and add up from the cash and you add all those transactions in the debit column.
I have added them.
You've added?
I thought I'm supposed to total up the whole total from cash 588,000 down.
Then you go back.
Let him share the screen.
Yes, I
Hey.
think.
And we show you where your mistake is.
Okay, let me remove mine. But I'm going to send this one. Let me stop sharing.
Thank you.
You can bring.
Lameka, you have the next 2 hours.
Alone.
My thing. So I'm wondering.
Look at your Chaco.
You look at Chaco. Your
Chaco
is 7,000.
The Chaco is what?
70,000.
70,000, but your Chaco you put 7,000.
Sambu.
Now it should balance now.
Based in Kasoko, so that's where.
Eddie.
Madam Rita, where is the
You're
journal?
right to leave the class when you've understood.
I think he's fine now.
Yes?
He's
Where
fine.
is the journal?
Hello?
You get a total there, then we see.
Where?
Someone was asking a question.
It's fine.
Okay.
I was asking about the journal.
Yes, yes, please.
Where is the journal?
What we've been doing, we've been journalizing, entering the transactions in their books of account for the first time. And the journal book we have used is the cash book itself. I told you a cash book is both a journal and a book of primary. The other journals we have not looked at because we were not entering information of credit transaction. We only dealt with information of cash. That is why we only used a cash book.
Our journal. Thank you.
As our journal, yes. Yeah.
And is next lecture physical or online?
Is what?
Is it physical or online? Next weekend.
I beg your pardon?
This lecture, is it physical or online?
Online.
I don't.
We shall communicate in the group.
Post what I will post in the group.
Yes.
Depend on what we are going to study. If we are studying an aspect that does not need us to meet physically, where we'll need some physical encounters, I will inform you and we shall meet physical. But tentatively, we are having.
Even Eddie has learned online.
Madam.